This is Angelica Ross, and you are listening to Unpacking with Eric and Kai.
This is Tariq Ali, and you're listening to Unpacking with Eric and Kyle.
Hi, this is Kyle KP Price.
This is City Council Member Rue Landau.
Hey, y'all, this is Julian King. You're listening to Unpacking with Eric and Kyle.
Hi, everyone. It's Tiny C. Wilson, Miss Philadelphia 2024.
Kenyon L. O'Brien here.
Greetings and salutations. I am Kaylin Allen, and you are listening to Unpacking.
This is Filet, and you're tuned into Unpacking Radio.
What's poppin', Unpackers? Welcome back to another week of Unpacking Unplugged. And we are here with the one, the only, you know his name. Y'all know his name already. If you see him on the screen, it's the one and only Kenya Hutton. Kenya is here because he is the president and CEO, clock it, double T, of the Center for Black Equity. This man has 2 decades. I don't want y'all doing no math, but it is what it is, honey. It's not all the time. It's about the seasoning. 2 decades, okay, of experience and work dedicated to social justice, equity, HIV prevention, and advocacy for marginalized community. He has been instrumental in addressing disparities in health that affect Black LGBTQ plus individuals. He's doing something for everybody. He has demonstrated extreme leadership in the House and the ballroom community. He has had commitment to health, economic, social equity, numerous decades. And we talking awards. The resume is decorated. I gotta read them because it's too many to remember. We're talking about the Dorian Corey Wisdom Award, the Michael J. Harrington Humanitarian Award, the DC Black Pride President Award. Yes, that Kenya Hutton is with us tonight. And we're going to delve all into his journey. We're going to talk about the initiative that the Center for Black Equity is doing. And we're going to get into some tea because we want to know, he got a convention coming up. So I want to get into that tea. And also, we're trying to get the lineup for Black Pride. DC Black Pride 2025 is going to be historic. If you don't know, World Pride is going to be in DC. But of course, you know, the girls that set the bar got to set the bar. We're going to open up the stage for World Pride. And so I can't wait to get into all of that. But Kenya, welcome to Unpacking Unplugged, baby.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. So excited to be here. Every time I hear my bio in, I'm like, is that really me? Like,
it's you. It's you. You did all the things.
And you know, I've been around for a little bit. 2 decades, over 2 decades. You know, I have no shame in the game. I am knocking on 50. But you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm still. Thank you. Thank you.
But they say no lines, no bags, and they suffer.
You know,
yes.
So and I'm here. I'm blessed. I'm blessed, and I'm happy to share space with folks like you, great people like yourself. You know, I hope you give yourself the same flowers you give us, because you are out here doing the things, creating space, having conversations with the people. So you know, kudos to you as well.
I'm trying. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now, listen, every time we have somebody come on, before we get into the tea, we always tell her a little rapid fire game. So we want to do a rapid fire game just for you, Kenya. Okay. And this game is going to be called Equity in Action. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I want you to give me the first thought, the first one. Don't think long. Just give me the first thought.
Okay.
The first one, we're going to cover ballroom beginnings. The first question, what drew you into the ballroom scene? And what does it mean to you personally?
So what drew me to the ballroom scene was community. I didn't know I was going to my first ball. I was always pushed away from going to balls. And I never forget meeting someone during the Puerto Rican Day Parade in Manhattan. And a guy came up to me and spoke to me and invited me to come to a party. Went to the party, didn't know I was going to a mini ball. But it turned into some place that I loved, some place that showed true community, true resilience, that has stood the test of time. I just love ballroom. What does it mean to me right now? I attribute a lot of my success to what I've learned through ballroom. Ballroom taught me how to navigate spaces, be unapologetically, who I am in every space, to have thick skin, not take no for an answer. All of these things I learned from ballroom.
That part. And I'm glad you said that, because so many people think ballroom is just people getting dressed up and walking categories, but it's a culture, and that culture informed. This is why he's the CEO and president, y'all.
Yes.
The next question, self-care sanctuary. After the whirlwind, you done planned DC Black Pride, you done did all the things, you done got the lineup. It's been a success, because it's a success every year. Y'all get better every single year. Y'all set the bar high and then outdo yourselves. After you've done all of the things, it's time for a getaway with you and your husband. What is your favorite place to get away and relax?
Anywhere with a beach. legit anywhere with a beach.
You mean same.
That's where we go. Right now we have a trip lined up. I think we were going to go to Florida, but I don't know if I want to go there anymore. Anywhere with the beach, out the country preferably. We have a timeshare that one of my family members gifted us as a wedding gift, free of charge. So we just got to go, so we can go whenever we want to go. That's my self-care. After Pride, after all the craziness, we'd have to go somewhere to the beach and just tune out.
I'm a beach boy too, and I'm overdue, but not out the country. I ain't got them kind of coins. So media detox with the constant influx of challenging news, just in these last 2 months, the news been news thing. What is your go-to healthy vice to kind of disconnect and recharge?
Know yourself. Right. Know when you've had enough. Know when it's too much. Folks like me, I'm a news junkie. I've always been a news junkie. I remember I grew up with my grandparents, and I grew up every morning waking up watching news. But everyone was watching cartoons. I was watching the news. And before going to bed watching news, I'm a news junkie, right? But that's not the reality for everybody. So I tell everyone, know yourself. Know when it's too much. Know when the news cycle is affecting your day-to-day life, affecting how you operate, how you navigate. When you feel like you're not able to get up above water, it's time to turn off and just focus on self and do some self-care. So just know yourself. A lot of times you tell people, oh, don't do this. I can't tell everybody what to do. I can just give suggestions. Just know yourself. I know when I've had enough. You can turn off the news because guess what? Whatever's happening will still be there tomorrow. After you recoup yourself and re-energize yourself, you can pick it up tomorrow and still catch up with everything. That's my advice.
Great advice. The next one is about accolade appreciation. Now, among the various awards, you heard me, and these were not all of them. This was not a cumulative list. This was just, I dropped a couple. We only got, we can't afford to have them that long. But among the various awards that you received, which one holds a special place in your heart?
Oh my God.
I'm sure more than one of them do, but which one would you say? This one,
So I will say getting my official plaque. I don't have it here. I'm in the middle of moving, so I was about to pull it up. My official legendary status from Ballroom. That was an award of recognition that everyone thought I already had it, but I didn't. That was one. Oh gosh, I can give another one. I think I'll go back to one of my first awards, which is the either the Dorian Corey or Michael Harrington. I got it from the same organization, and they came like right after each other. But that came from Gay Men's Health Crisis. It was very early in my career, probably about 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago. And it's significant because to get acknowledged by a community when I was just starting to come out, just started to do the work by organizations such as Gay Men's Health Crisis, a legendary historic organization out of New York that was doing the work for communities, for them to acknowledge little old me at the time was kind of a big deal. So I'll go with my first and one of my most recent.
Yeah, well, they saw it in you. And fun fact, I was actually there when you got the legendary.
Really?
That was my second ball. That was my second ball ever. And it was a big one. Like, it was like, ooh.
Yeah. I threw that ball, but I didn't know it was going to be the legendary thing.
Listen, I remember they were saying it was a surprise coming to the stage. And I remember, I'm screaming over the balcony. DCF, we had our own suite. And I was up there like, yeah. All the things. It was definitely well deserved. Okay, your guilty pleasure. When you need a break from advocacy work, what is a hobby or activity you indulge in that might surprise people?
Video games.
You're a gamer.
I am such a gamer. I'm such a gamer.
What are you playing right now?
I'm not playing anything. I don't have time.
Right.
Come later. I'm going to be blazing up the PS5 shortly after, right after Pride. That's what I'm going to do until I go get away. But after watching the movie last night, and my husband and I were just like, this looks like a video game. So I looked it up to see if it's a video game because I will download. I have so many games that I download. I haven't even got a chance to play yet. But I'm downloading them and just stacking them up. I'm a big Call of Duty fan. Shoot them up all day.
Oh.
Yes.
You need to let that tension out. Okay, like y'all done stressed me out in these meetings.
It's very much that.
Yeah.
I get on there and I will build through. My husband hates it, but I love it.
I'm a new gamer, so my husband has gotten me into it, and I'm loving it. I am loving it. I've stolen his oh child, I don't know what the game controls I be playing on. What's the one? The Switch. Okay, I took his Switch. I'm playing Life is Strange. I'm running through them. Oh, I'm probably on like the 4th one now, and I just bought him a PS5 for his birthday. So, yeah, so now he's moving on to the big dogs, and I'm gonna catch up. So yeah, shout out to the gaming community. Okay, now culinary comfort. Is there a particular dish or cuisine that brings you comfort after a long day of saving the world and equity work?
I mean, not to brag, but I think my culture has the best cuisine. I'll eat it breakfast, lunch, and dinner is Jamaican food. I'm Jamaican, so I cook it all. I'll cook it all day, every day. As a matter of fact, that's what I have for dinner tonight. Yeah, so comfort food when I want to like feel like I'm home. Jamaican food. When I go home, my father knows to cook me a good old traditional Jamaican breakfast. Jamaican food all day, every day.
Listen, keeping it in the culture. Musical motivation. What is a song or artist that lifts your spirit when you need to get motivated?
Oh, Megan. 100%. Megan. Megan. It's just something about Megan's flow and Megan's energy that just makes me like when I start going off and I'm like, okay, I can go. It's just something about her flow when she hits that stride. It's everything.
I feel like that kind of music, and it's weird to make this analysis. I'm probably or analogy or comparison even. I'm probably gonna get canceled. But it kind of is like when you listen to gospel music. I grew up in Black church, but when I listen to Glorilla,
she's another one. Yes.
You know when you need to get ready for something, or you've been doubting yourself, or you've been down, and I'm just sitting at home like, get them go. Like, I'm sitting there having to pump myself up. Like, you know, they can't play with you.
Yes.
Like, yes, you need to keep the energy. So, yes, we're the same. What is it? This next one is about hidden talents. Do you have a skill or hidden talent that most people aren't aware of?
Most people don't know that I was. I'm going to say was. I haven't done it in a very long time. But I was a state fencing champ in New York City. I was a sword fighter in New York City. Yeah. My first year went right to state championships right in Long Island City. And went and got my medal and everything.
Can you say I ain't no killer, but don't push me? Like, don't make me pull out the fencing skills. Don't make me. Period. Okay. This last one is about a weekend wind down. It's Sunday. You have no obligations for work. You have no obligations for the things you do outside of work. And what would be your perfect Sunday wind
down? A movie, my husband, 2 dogs, and some good food.
Listen, when I tell you your answers and my answers will be like, listen.
It's real simple. That's it.
We try to be out the way.
Yeah.
Okay. If being out the way with a person will be us. Okay. When you have everything you need at home, you don't need to go nowhere. Honey.
Nope.
Sunday fun day changed.
Yes.
My Lord today. Okay. I want to start getting into interview questions. Thank you for the rapid fire game, setting the mood with us. I want to start with talking about your journey to leadership and learn sort of what motivated you to dedicate your career to social justice, to equity, particularly within the Black LGBTQ+ community.
Yeah, great question. So, I'm from New York, Flatbush, Brooklyn.
Where Brooklyn at?
Decades ago, right? I'm from the hood. Like when I tell them I'm from the hood, no, baby, I'm from the hood, right? Brooklyn in the 80s, 90s was not a game, right? And I, came up at a time because I'm also Caribbean where I was very sheltered and didn't really see and experience things. But the minute I got out and I started going into the city, I started meeting people, started, connect with folks. And this actually wasn't even what I went to school for. Initially, I went to school, like this whole public health thing was a third career, believe it or not. It's just the one that stuck. Initially, I went to go for advertising, marketing, communications. And I never forget, one of my instructors said, there's no Black men in this field. And he kind of discouraged me, right? But then anyway, I went to school, finished it, didn't really feel like I could get a job. Honestly, didn't really look, but I needed a job. And I got a job at Gay Men's Health Crisis. That was my first job in the field doing outreach. And then I started doing work, started doing outreach, and Aisha Diori and Casper, who was working there at the time, was a supervisor, and Aisha definitely said to me, Kenny, you you have a knack for this. You should really stick into it. I was like, yeah. I'm gonna just do this as for a coin, whatever. And then I started realizing and noticing people were passing, right? But I didn't know why at the time. No one really talked about it. Everyone, said whatever, reasons why people were passing. And then I never forget two situations happened that really stuck to me. One, I will never forget being at the Octagon in New York City. It was a club we used to go to on Fridays, and we were partying, dancing, carrying on. And never forget, Dana Revlin was there with her fur coat, carrying, cutting up. Then, like a week later, we was at the Latex Ball, and we had a moment of silence for Danielle. And I was like, "What? What's happening?" And then, the next situation to me was, I was really good friends with Eric Christian Bazaar, and he passed. And when he passed, I was incarcerated and I wasn't able to, be there and attend and everything. And it really, really, really hit me. So when I came home, I went wholehearted, full speed ahead into the work. And it's trying to like making a difference. And in my work and exposing and really like getting beyond just handing out condoms, but having conversations with folks, I really began to see the structures that was in place that was preventing people from getting the care that they needed, right? Everyone was still happy, having fun, but it was like it's an education thing. Like people were still out here using baby oil gel for lube. People did things like it was, and my I'm in the field. I'm like, and I'm telling people, and they're like, no, this is fine. They're trying to like justify it, and it really started get my wheels turning. I was like, okay. So then, as I started moving in and getting more and more in my career with direct services, I started, also understanding and learning about grants and how funding works and how funding can be pulled and programs can be cut, right? Because I was part of a very successful program years ago at my second job here in DC, ran for I think 3-4 years, didn't get refunded, job was cut, and I was like, damn. That program made such an impact on people's lives. It really started getting me more and more into it. So as I kept on working, kept on moving around, I started getting more and more in the advocacy space and started writing grants and speaking up and advocating for people because I carry this history of people that I've seen passing. There was a time in my life that I had a funeral suit hanging on the back of my closet because I was going to funerals so often, right? It was always just one suit. It was gold pinstripes, black suit, boot cut, that I just always wore. Right? And I was like, this is my suit. I'm going to always wear this suit, right?
Yeah.
So I came with this history, right? I came with being in the streets, came with seeing these things, and then got into the space now where I'm advocating for funding and I'm running against systems that are in place that really are preventing people. That's not really addressing the stigma that is being put into communities and into spaces that are preventing people from getting the care that they need just to live healthy lives. So then, things just grew, and I just developed and got more and more into advocacy space, and really then started developing my voice to really realize that people were listening to me when I said something. When I walked in a room, I did, and this is where I say earlier, like I took things from ballroom, like I was able to walk into spaces with an authority and not quiet my voice down, but speak in a way so people heard and understand everything that I wanted to do. And when I said the public health was my third career, because I went for advertising, marketing, communications, when I started doing outreach and stuff, but I was like, I don't want to do this, Then I went to culinary school, went through that, and I was just like, I don't want to do this either. So I went back to doing this work again, and I was like, hey, who are you playing with yourself? This is really what you have a passion for. Like I was doing culinary school, still out here doing outreach at nighttime, right after a day of like being on my feet, cooking in class and cooking for this restaurant. I would I'll still come out and do outreach and still answer the phones and doing stuff. So I was like, I need to stick with this.
It was your calling.
And that's what just got me where I am today to now having the things that I have.
Absolutely. I mean, and speaking of your calling, can you share with people who don't know what the Center for Black Equity is a little bit about like just kind of what the Center for Black Equity is, what you all do, how you became, in charge of the girls there, and maybe share some current initiatives you're spearheading.
Yeah, sure. So Center for Black Equity initially started back in 1999 as the International Federation of Black Prides. right? From between 1990, and that started off as a way because DC was where it started, was where the Black Pride movement started, and they started finding about other prides popping up. They started off initially calling it the Federation of Black Prides, and they found out about a pride in Suriname, changing the name to International Federation of Black Prides. Boom. So it started off as a way to support Black prides and create resources and bring everyone together that can share new peer support, share resources to begin to thrive in creating safe spaces. I'm going to circle back to the safe space topic. Around 2012, which is actually when I first found out about the Center for Black Equity, which is when they changed their name, because the work they were doing, they realized they were doing more than just pride. So they're becoming stepping more into the advocacy space, and becoming more than just creating a weekend. So the Center for Black Equity was formed on the 3 pillars of health equity, financial equity, and health equity for Black queer people globally. And the fun fact about that is, when I first got connected to the Center for Black Equity, I was they was having the unveiling of the new name. And one of my friends, Sterling Washington, was working for the Center for Black Equity at the time. I met him when I used to work at Us Upping Us. Said they needed a bartender just to come and serve beer and wine. I was like, sure, I'll come do that. I need a couple dollars. And it was for the Center for Black Equity's naming. So I was a bartender there. And then from there, learned about the organization, really felt compelled to support it as much as I can, and volunteered, got on the board for DC Black Pride, got on the board here, volunteered, was a contractor. And then, worked my way up to where, when my former boss, Earl Folks, the founder, said, Kenya, how much do you want to make? And I told him, he says, well, I don't have that kind of a budget, but if you could raise it, you got it. I was like, done. That was in August. By November, I had my salary. I had my salary for 2 years at that point. And then I did that. I was in that position for about 3-4 years, and he decided he was going to retire. And then, here I am, effective August 2024. I'm now the presidency of Center for Black Equity. So some of the initiatives we have, I know I went down a whole storyline.
No, you're giving us the tea.
So some initiatives we have, of course, our Black Pride Leadership Summit. This is in addition to, we do DC Black Pride. We have the Black Pride Leadership Summit. We bring together all the Black Pride leaders from around the world for 2 to 3 days of networking, programming, discussions, workshops, resource sharing, etc. We think that's kind of the best way, right? Is when we come from a culture where it takes a village, really means something for us. So we bring together our village at least once a year for 3 days. We have the Ron Simmons Leadership Institute, which is open to anybody to really create skills for Black queer folks, wherever you are, to ascend to leadership. We teach you grant writing, trauma-informed care, mental health first aid. We go through a whole slew of things, board development, so that you can develop yourself within your organization, or if you want to start your organization, for you to do that, because a lot of times we don't get to go to college, but some of those skills that you need to be a good leader are not embedded in college, right? So we try to give them those tools. We do a number of research studies. We have a policy arm that we do. We have a C4 that we do. This year, the Center for Black Equity is hosting, in addition to DC Black Pride and the Black Pride Leadership Summit, we are hosting something called Community Conversations, which is going to run complementary to the World Pride Human Rights Conference. But the Human Rights Conference is a fee and has a very global feel to it. Community Conversations are more grassroots, led by organizations here in the DC area, talk about local, regional, national, and international things, free of charge, no fee, open to anybody can walk in and participate and engage with stuff. It's going to be in the evening, so those people that can't get off work to go to the conference, they have something they can go to and still be fed, right? I'm really big into feeding folks. In addition to that, we have the Black Queer Film Festival. We're doing a Black Pride Here show this year. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Black Queer Film Festival, Community Conversations, Black Queer Film. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. This is all leading up to June 8th for World Pride. Then after Pride, we're going to spin the block and go back into some of our healthcare work, right? And when I say healthcare work, we're just supporting some of our Pride organizations. And this is why I said I'm going to circle back to the safe spaces. One thing that I really encourage folks to understand is that Black Prides are more than just a party weekend. We, as Black Pride leaders, are creating safe spaces for our community. We're creating spaces that people, especially in the South, right? Where being out and gay, can cost you your life almost, right?
Absolutely.
We're creating a space where you can come and be yourself openly, honestly, and just be free, right? So, that's what we are doing. So then right after Pride season, we go right back into creating these spaces and ensuring that not only creating a space, but sometimes the only time people get in contact or come in contact with healthcare services is at these prides. I can't tell you the amount of people that's the only time they get tested for HIV, which is why I flipped our services during DC Black Pride from just HIV to becoming a health and wellness suite where we do blood pressure, vaccines, glucose, you name it, you can get it there, yoga, massages, right? Because healthcare shouldn't only be what that medical piece. It should be about making you feel good too. Like if I know all my stuff, but I'm depressed and I just need a massage to release some stress. Let's get you that, right? And these are all things free of charge. So that's what we're going to be doing right after Pride to rebuilding our pocketbook pretty much, because the theme for the Black Pride leadership this year is sustainability, right? How are those of us in the Black queer space going to sustain the next 4 years? And I think if we don't have a plan, we're going to be left behind because others are going to create a plan and then tell us how we can fit in versus us creating systems for us to sustain and maintain for our communities.
Listen, this is what I hope people are taking, first of all, before I even get into what you just said from your story, is how you showed up in spaces and just allowed. A lot of times people feel like, they're trying to do stuff and it's not working. It's like, and they get discouraged by that. And I hear you saying like, I wasn't sure if this health thing was for me. And then you heard the calling and went back to it. And now you have a master's in public health, MPH.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You mastered it. You don't just do this. You mastered it. And you showing up to be a bartender and then in the space, finding your rhythm and finding where you fit in. And so I'm highlighting that because I know there's somebody listening, somebody watching who is still in that space of trying to find it, who is probably discouraged by having to start all the way at the bottom, but you too can be the CEO.
Absolutely. 100%.
Of the Center for Black Equity. You too can be a leader. And I love that leadership sometimes comes from peculiar places and places people didn't expect it. Absolutely. I love how busy the Center for Black Equity is. I love the community conversations. I want to highlight the health suites are popping. I have seen them. I have helped plan them. I've worked with them through the health department, and I've never seen anything like what you all provide in those health suites. It is amazing work. I'm curious, just in light of all the anti-LGBTQ sentiment and policy changes, how are you all adapting strategies to continue advancing inclusion and justice?
So part of the conversations we're having, right, as an organization and with our membership network, right, the Center for Black Equity represents 54 Black prides within the United States and a dozen overseas, right? Understanding that what happens here is also going to also affect our siblings overseas. So that's why it's important when we do our work is to have this conversation in a global sense, right? And again, it's really about sustainability, right? How are you navigating? How are you going to be nimble? How are you going to adjust and adapt to what's coming, right? How are you diversifying your funding, right? Far too many times we're reliant on one source of funding because that's just always been there. But then, what I've known in my, 2 decades of work is that no one source of funding is infinite. It's always going to stop. So you always have to be thinking ahead. We can't always think about, and then now we have to always think about tomorrow. Like I'm already thinking about Black Pride next year, 2026. I'm already thinking, I was like, all right, so after this goes good, this is what I'm going to roll in next year. So these are some of the things that we're doing, but I think it's going to be important for folks to put egos to the side, right? And get back into the space in the spirit of collaboration, networking, so that we can lean on each other, right? I may have a resource that you may not have, and I should be able to call you and say, hey, Kai, I got this connection. They might be able to help you out, and vice versa, right? We all need to be able to do that because they're coming for all of us. And I think that's something that I have to remind people all the time. They're coming for all of us. I don't get no government funding, so I can call it out. They're coming for all of us, right? Black, queer, straight, they're coming for all of us, right? So if we don't, exactly, words on the screen, if we don't unite, which is their goal. Their goal is to separate us, to say, oh, that's a that person issue, that's a this person issue. So it's easy to chop us off. But the end goal is to come for all of us. They're removing history. I don't know why I'm pointing behind me. They're removing history from the Smithsonian, right? They're removing our history from the Smithsonian.
Yes.
Okay. How, if you don't see that it's all of us they're coming for, they've been talking about trans all this time to distract you while they're putting those words and actions in place to get rid of all of us. Right? Don't be distracted. They're coming for all of us. We all need to stand together, gay, straight, trans, and we have to absolutely stand and protect and defend our trans community because they are at the forefront of the attacks and going to get the brunt of what's coming down the pipeline. And if you think this administration is done yet, they're just getting started.
Listen, it's so early on, and the havoc that has been wreaked. Yeah, absolutely right. I want to just echo those sentiments. If there was never a time where we need to work together, put our ego aside, put our differences aside. Listen, I found myself in conversations. Let's just bury the hatchet, girl. So we can go ahead and get this work done because the work is more important than the personal issues. And so I 100% agree. And I hope that that message is being heard. I want to just sort of affirm what you said about the importance of the space that you provide at Black Pride, because I was at the Southern Aid Coalition's. I was at a convention for them, speaking on behalf of DC Health. And when I was there, I haven't spent a lot of time in the South. I just haven't. And so it was so interesting. I was walking around being myself, and this gentleman came to me. And he was like, I just love seeing you. And one of the guys I was with, y'all just so expressive and y'all fully yourselves. And I wish I could be like that. He was telling us he lives in New Mexico, and he was like, I can't, like where I live, and he was like, I'm moving to Texas. I can't just be myself. Like I have to hide it. He was like, but I used to wear like the eyelashes, and I used to like, glitz up and put a bunch of blush on and just, like do eyeshadow. And I missed that side of myself. And so the convention had a closing night. It was a gala. And, everybody was there, all the people, dressed up, all the celebrities in the community. And we were encouraging him like, well, child, you ain't there now. Like, the last night, do your big one. Like, go to like, what we need to do, we need to go to the drugstore, there's a mall across the street. Like, let's do it. And he surprised us. I didn't even know it was him. I'm walking and I'm minding my business. I got my drink in my hand. And I turn around and see this stunning Latino man. I mean, glitzed up, like, it's all of the things and like full face beat. And he walked up to me and he's in tears, like holding me. Like, thank you so much for encouraging me and making me feel like I had the space to be myself. And it impacted me.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying that to say sometimes we especially us Northerners, we're so used to being able to just go outside and what we want, especially us millennials who act like we forget the time where we grew up, where they was knocking us upside the head for being gay in public spaces. You were too femme in public, you better know how to fight. That's why a lot of us know how, like, because we done, okay, and I had to drop the trade a couple times. But people forget about it, and so we forget that there's so many people who are still experiencing that. And so it's no small thing, nothing to wink at the space that you provide in Black Pride spaces.
But Kai, I think also, well, the one, thank you for that. Yes, it is about the space, but also I think it's important about showing up authentically who you are, because you showing up how you were was encouragement that person needed to do it, right? It wasn't about creating space. It was just them seeing someone and be like, I could do that too. Because sometimes people need to see that. See someone that go through adversity, see someone just being unapologetically themselves, right? That's a level of encouragement, someone that can, because it's always someone, and we have to, and you're right, it's a lot of people, especially Northerners and in metropolitan cities, they don't think about those folks in, the southern states. They don't think about those folks in like the Selma, Alabamas. They don't think about those folks in the New Mexico. They don't think about those folks in, Kentucky. In Kentucky and Tennessee. They don't think about those people, right? And you walking authentically, unapologetically who you are is so important to people, and you never know who's watching.
Absolutely. It gives people permission, and it did something for me. And so speaking of that, this year, Black Pride is going to be, I mean, y'all do it every year, but this year it feels like all eyes are going to be sort of on DC Black Pride. And I'm curious to know what we can expect. Again, we already said it, World Pride 2025 is going to be right here in America, right here in DC, in the nation's capital. And what comes before World Pride is Black Pride. Us first. Us first.
Us first.
And what can we expect? Like, what is the show? I know you got something up your sleeve. Like, what can we
Sure,
expect?
I do. So we are going to be starting off with our pre-Pride events, which is some happy hours, our ball that we have a 9th annual Unity Ball, and what we revived was the Black Pride pageant. And then on Saturday, we have an open reception, and I haven't released this yet, so I will put it if they can get up on the screen. The open reception is going to be featuring the genderless
production
icon
dropped the
themselves.
tea.
Yes, and Nico will be here performing a full
Yes.
set. For us at DC Black Pride, the genderless superstar. We have special guest Kerry Colby. We have special guest Monroe Elise. We have special guest T.S. Madison, Vanguard Son Inc., The Loda Leopard from My House, and all those other shows. Lil Kumar, Heather Mahogany, Apple Brown Betty, Anthony Oakes from performing from the Apollo, and we have a couple other things dropping. So that is going to be Friday at the Host Hotel. It is free of charge. Also, if you register and show up, you get entered into a raffle to either win 2 tickets to the Janelle Monáe Grace Jones concert, or you can choose to enter into a raffle for 2 tickets to the Beyonce Cowboy Carter tour. Right, we're giving away 2 tickets, and all you have to do is free of charge. All you got to do is register and show up. Once you get electronically scanned, you're entered into the raffle. That easy, free of charge. Come, have fun. We have free drink tickets for the first 100 people that attend. Just give us a dcblackpride.org to get all the information. We're rolling that stuff out right now. So yeah, no one has seen this yet. This is the first place it's being dropped. We're going to be dropping it publicly. This is exclusive. It's going to be dropping. And so much more. Carrie Colby has a special announcement she's going to be dropping that weekend as well. So it's definitely going to be the place to be. Then moving right on to Saturday, right? We're going to start off with a workshop series, which we are reviewing. We had so many people submitted workshops this year for DC Black Pride, which is always a fun, engaging space. So we're going to have that. We're going to have a Rainbow Row, which is going to be, we pretty much take over the host hotel with vendors and organizations that really are catering and supporting the Black queer movement. So that happens all day Saturday at the host hotel. Then we have our Health and Wellness Pavilion. Then we have our Mary Bowman Poetry Slam. We're giving away, I think it's about $2,000 in cash prizes for people to come and drop some poetry. You can come and do that free of charge. We have an interfaith service for those that want to come and get connected to some spirituality. That happens again in the host hotel. And then right after that, we have the 6th annual Brunch and Babes iconic drag brunch fundraiser. We raise funds to give back to an organization in the DC area. We keep on maxing out capacity of places. We started off at Johnny Pistolas, then we went to Carmen, then we went to Hook Hall. Now we're working. I should have a new venue next week. Then right after that, we're gonna have the inaugural Black Pride Hair Show, showcasing Black hair on the stage with Bennett Hair Institute, Spa de Trois, and Center for Black Hair, who's coming together to put this on. We're bringing together all the community members to be part of this hair show during DC Black Pride, another free event. One of the key things about understanding about DC Black Pride is everything is free. We don't charge you for anything. So if you come to DC with $2 in your pocket, you're gonna be able to come, you're gonna be able to eat, you're gonna be able to drink, you're gonna be able to party. We're gonna have a party. All right, you're gonna be able to party, you're gonna be able to do everything that we organize free of charge. It's something we're doing this year. And I really need to highlight this. What we're doing this year is we understand the gravity of the safety of our community. So we are launching a free shuttle bus service for anybody that is staying at the host hotel. If you come in and you check in, we don't want, because with it being a Memorial Weekend, I'm not sure, I don't know, I don't have confirmation, but I feel there's going to be a lot of alt-right activism in the city those days. I just have a feeling I have. So what I do is we contracted a shuttle bus is going to run people throughout the entire weekend, pick you up from the host hotel. If you're staying at the host hotel, it's free of charge. Pick you up at the host hotel, and it's going to go to all the official DC Black Pride events, all the way from Thursday all the way through Monday, like every event. So you don't have to drive drunk. You don't have to worry about taking public transportation. You don't have to worry about Uber, none of that. You show your little wristband, what you're going to give you if you check in, and you can get in the bus and roam around. If you're not staying in the hotel and you want to go, you just email shuttle@centerforblack.equity.org, and then we'll hook you up and get you your credentials so you can get in the bus. Again, removing all the barriers so you can come, have fun, get around the city. Listen, you may just want to come and get in the bus and just ride the bus the whole time because it's going to be full with community, right? That's fine too. Again, it's about, we're just really, interested in creating safe spaces, intentional safe spaces for our community, so you don't have to deal with any of the outside. This DC Black Pride is going to be your breakaway from reality. Come here, have fun, get fed, be in community. I always say Black Pride is a family reunion, so come and be with family.
Absolutely. This is exciting. Yes, leave this up on the screen, production, because I just want to say, I have to do my own call to action. Y'all make sure y'all here. For if you've never thought about coming to DC Black Pride before, this is the year to come, to be at the 34th annual DC Black Pride. Y'all see the lineup again. It's the Anikos, it's Monroe, Elise Poston, and T.S. Madison. That's Monroe's my sister and friend of the show. Carrie Colby, Anthony Oakes, all of these people. Ben Garstein, who performs down. Y'all hear me? But I need to say, just from a personal perspective, and Kenya does not know this, my first Black Pride ever was over a decade ago. A decade ago, I was new to the area, and I didn't know anything about Black Pride. I had never been to any Pride celebration at all. This was actually my first Pride celebration and Black Pride all rolled up in one. And I came thinking it was just going to be a party, and we did party. And after, we were in the host hotel, and there were so many like breakout rooms and so many places to go. And something we talk about here is that we don't always have a lot of eldership, right? I sat in the room, and for the first time in my entire Black queer life, there was a workshop on an intergenerational conversation, and it changed my life. We were sitting there. I didn't know the amount of death that was in the room. I mean, we went from kikiing, and we kikied. We was us. We were all the things we were. We were Black, gay, having fun, kikiing. We was toasting, but we were also having tears. People were pouring into us, and so many people poured things into me that day. They didn't know who I was going to become. I didn't know who I was going to become. I didn't know who I was even in the room with. Some of these people who went on to do so many great things, but it changed my life. And so y'all make sure y'all come out. Listen, don't just come on May 23rd either. Y'all just come and come for the weekend. You got time. And speaking of being booked, busy, and doing a lot of things in the streets, production, can we get the other flyer up on the screen? Because I was down to the Instagram. And National Action Network Convention 2025, April 3rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. There is a lineup among us. Dr. David N. Jones, CEO, Executive Director of the National Black Justice Coalition, is moderating this is a panel.
Yes.
This is a panel. And who y'all think on the panel? Well, y'all know we got Christopher Hunley, we got Kiara Johnson, we got Alan Roscoff, but we got Kenya Hutton.
Yes.
Kenya, how did this come into play? Like, how did you become a part of this? Who name dropped you to get you in a room? Like, what happened?
It was interesting. I just got an email one day from an individual that says, introduce himself and says, "Hi, I'm from the National Action Network. We're planning an National Network convention, and at the request of Reverend Al Sharpton, we would like for you to be on this panel."
At the request of who?
Reverend Al Sharpton.
Oh, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The Reverend Al
Sharpton.
Sharpton. Your name. Yes, he brought my name, and that's the email. And I was just like, I can't say no. Of course. And here we are. This week I'll be there with the conversation moderated by Dr. David Johns, with Christopher Huntley from Human HRC, myself, Kiara from the task force. Oh, what happened? Sorry. From the task force, and Alan Roscoff, who is a longtime advocate, gay rights advocate. We're going to be talking about the state of LGBTQ rights in the Black communities. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. The spin we're going to put, Dr. Johns and I have been talking, the spin we're going to put on it is going to be quite interesting. It is free. So if anyone's in the New York area, nationalactionnetwork.net, you can go ahead and register, or you can watch it online. It's going to be streamed live on all of their networks as well. We're going to talk about, what's going on right now, being a light in dark times for our communities. Really going to talk about the state of where we are right now, and what we need to do and how do we prepare ourselves for the potential dark future that we're looking down. It's only going to be for a while, right? But we need to be able to sustain it. This is something else that's going on this week with me.
This is amazing. I know we're just about out of time, and I always give our guests the last call to action. But I want to say, one, I'm so proud of you. I really, really, really am proud of you, because I just know we see you doing these amazing things, and people to see the work you do and not always see what it takes from people personally, the toll it takes on their family. What I already know, you have a husband, what he gives up, and how, to have you be able to do these things. And so I'm just so proud of you, because just being here in DC, I've watched you continue to grow and go against the odds. And I want to, before I give you the last word, I just want to say thank you personally. And the reason why is because so many times people say thank you in private, right? It's a lot of private conversation. Thank you, girl. You all this, you this, the kissy face, right? And in private, they will give you all these accolades. But I want to say thank you, because we talked about on the show how the Safe Philly campaign, how it came about. We talked about us doing it, and everyone's excited, and the billboards all over, the SEPTA ads in the city, and we're launching at Philly Black Pride this year. But I need to personally say that we would not have been able to do this without you. And so many times, like, people don't always come back to say thank you to people who made it happen. And I'm not just saying thank you for myself, thank you for the city of Philadelphia, because there has not been a lot going on. So many partners have jumped in and just wanted to support this campaign, because we're in a city, nothing like DC, to see that there was no World AIDS Day event, to see that, that Black HIV Awareness Day had no events, to see like that there isn't any fanfare, and people are so tired and so just exhausted about being in survival mode and trying to, funding is being cut and this is happening and people are scared, and to think that people weren't having access to resources. I go to this city and I'm having to still have active conversations about what PrEP is, what doxy is. This is a different place. And so it wasn't a small thing. Sometimes you can have the idea, but like you said earlier, you don't have the resource. And so thank you to Center for Black Equity for being our fiscal sponsor, for being a resource, for helping us out, because we could not have done. We would have had a great idea, Lord. I done do so much spaghetti at the wall with you, so many ideas we done talked about. Some, child, a lot of times they don't happen. But I really, really appreciate you personally. I just needed to say thank you, because that's the kind of work that you're doing that there's no flyer for. That's the kind of work that people won't know, that behind the scenes, there are things that happened. There are resources that were provided for spaces that wouldn't have been if it had not been for people like you, who don't just do it for the light and for the accolades. And so I want to say thank you to you for that. And with that, I want to give Kenya Hutton the last word. Give these people a call to action. How do they support you continuously, support the Center for Black Equity, stay connected with DC Black Pride? Tell the girls where to go and how to stay connected.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you. First of all, I just want to say yes. Well, thank you for that. And thank you to you for always having ideas. Sometimes that's what we do. We have to throw things at the wall and see what sticks, right? Yeah. And lending support doesn't take no more than 5-10 minutes out of my day, right? To pass on an email, sign a piece of paper. We have to be willing to give that, because if I don't think my community is worth 5 minutes of my day to lend some support to, like, how am I going to expect someone else to do that if I won't do it myself, right? Absolutely. So I didn't want to say that. So call to action. Check us out at centerforblack.equity.org. Things are always changing. Things are always coming up. Follow our social media for like in the moment updates. Visit dcblackpride.org to find all things DC Black Pride, as well. Follow us on social media, because sometimes things happen fast and we can get it on the website. So we're running that. A lot of people don't know Center for Black Equity is run by an organization, by people of one, which is me. I'm the only full-time employee. So I run that, and I run our social media for DC Black Pride. So things get loaded in, and then I send it to someone else. I send it to a contractor to upload to the website. So follow us on social media, or you can follow me on Instagram at Chaotic. It's so funny. That was my name when I first moved to DC. And I was like, I'm going to keep it Chaotic MD3117, because you know what? I think I'm gonna go for the doctorate after this, because now I'm just in the mood. So I am going to be a doctor after all of this. So yeah, just follow me. Reach out to me. Anyone have any questions? I answer all emails. I answer all texts. Also everything. Find me on those websites, find me on social media. I respond to everybody. Don't feel I had a call yesterday from a lady. I don't know what she was talking about, but she talked to me for 30 minutes. And by the end of it, she said, I don't even know what I asked you for, but it was just good to have someone to listen. I listen to everybody because you know why sometimes I'll ramble to my husband and I'm like, I really don't know what I'm talking about, but I have to ramble to get things off my head so I can get a clear thought, right? So I can start thinking clearly. So feel free to give me a call. I love it. I love community. I love us. Don't give up. Know yourself. And when you got to take a moment to step back, take care of yourself. And though the fight looks rough, it's not going to be the end of us. They haven't been able to end us before. They're not going to end us now, right? I'm going to still be here. Right. Listen, when funding got cut, I went to bartending, right? And then what happened as soon as funding came back around, I was right back in the fight again. So we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. We just need to not be afraid to reach out to each other, put the ego to the side, ask for help, right? When you need it, no matter what your title is, your letters are, ask for help. And yeah, I'm here. We're
Absolutely.
here.
Thank you so much, Kenya. You then came, you gave us exclusive tea. It was such an honor to have you. I really appreciate you sharing space with us tonight. So thank you again. And y'all make sure y'all follow, y'all stay connected. Y'all never know with these kind of fun, y'all might see me bartending at the Center for Black Equity event. I'm trying to make my way to the door. Okay, I gotta pivot with the pivot. But thank you so much, Kenya. You have an amazing night and we will continue to follow the journey.
You as well. Thank you so much
Good
for
night,
having
y'all.
me.
Good night,
Take care,
Unpacker.
everyone.